So, good day everyone. We are the Group 6 presenting to you the Chapter 5 of this module, namely the Product Differentiation. And I am FJS Isanan.
And I am John Irvin de la Racochea.
And I'm Rogelio D. Gonzague, 3rd from CBET 19606P, and we're going to present to you the Chapter 5, which is the Product Differentiation.
So, hello again. Good evening everyone. Allow me to present myself again. I am the first presenter, John Irvin de la Racochea, and let's tackle about the learning objectives. So, learning objectives, the listener must know the learning objectives of this discussion. First, define product differentiation, describe 11 bases of product differentiation, and how this basis of product differentiation can be grouped into 3 categories. Next, describe how product differentiation can create economic value. Next, describe those bases of product differentiation that are not likely to be costly to duplicate, those that may be costly to duplicate, and those that will often be costly to duplicate. B. The main substitutes for product differentiation strategies. And next, 5.4, describe how organizational structure control processes and compensation policies can be used to implement product and differentiation strategies. And lastly, discuss whether it is possible for a firm to implement cost leadership and product differentiation strategies simultaneously. So, let's tackle about the first topic, which is who is Victoria and what is her secret. So, sino nga ba si Victoria's Secret, diba? Alam natin na siya sa number 1 retailing sa buong mundo, diba? So, magbibigay na ako ng brief history kay Victoria's Secret. So, you've seen their sizzling and phenomenal runway shows. But how much do you know about the Queen of Lingerie, Victoria's Secret? Yeah. We've all seen the fashion shows, admires the Victoria's Secret angels, and probably have the few BS products stashed away in our dresses drawers. So, who is Victoria and what is her secret? So, who is Victoria? This is who Victoria is. This is the woman that Victoria's Secret's designers designed for. The woman Victoria's Secret marketers create advertising for, and the woman to whom all Victoria's Secret sales associates are trained to sell. So, who is Victoria? Victoria is an American lingerie, clothing, and beauty retailer known for high visibility marketing and branding, starting with a popular catalog and followed by an annual fashion shows with supermodels dubbed angels. As the largest retailer of lingerie in the United States, the brand has struggled since 2016 due to shifting consumer preference and ongoing controversy surrounding corporate leaderships, business practices. So, ayun yung parang ni Victoria's Secrets. Yung sino nga ba si Victoria? And next, and this is her secret. Victoria doesn't really exist, or more precisely, the number of real women in the entire world who are like Victoria is very small, no more than handful. So, sabi dito, si Victoria hindi naman talaga siya nag-e-exist. Ayun yung sabi sa ating e-book. So yung mga nagdadala nito is yung sikreto nito is yung mga parang mga tauhan nito na nagtatrabaho sa Victoria's Secret, yung mga designer, yung mga ambassador, yung mga parang tumutulong talaga sa paglago ng Victoria's Secret Company, kasi alam naman natin na si Victoria's Secret is napakalaking retailer nito sa buong mundo. So sabi dito, ito talaga yung pinakasikreto ni Victoria's Secret is yung mga tao sa surroundings niya, yung mga tumutulong, mga designer, yung mga clother nila. Ayun talaga yung pinakasikreto niya, and parang mahal niya yung ginagawa niya, kaya mas lalo siyang nagiging successful kasi ginagawa niya to na may puso. So, and for me, that is her secret. So let's talk about the product differentiation. Product differentiation is a business strategy where firms attempt to gain a competitive advantage by increasing the perceived value of their products or services relative to the perceived value of other firms' product or services. These other firms can be rivals or firms that provide substitute products or services. So, sa product differentiation, isa sang business strategy where firms attempt to gain a competitive advantage by increasing the perceived value of their product or services relative to the perceived value of other firm product or services. At saka yung product differentiation is a process used by businesses to distinguish a product or service from other similar ones available in the market. And yung tactics nito is nag-aim to help businesses develop a competitive advantage and define compelling unique selling proposition that set their products apart from competitors. Next is let's tackle about the basis of product differentiation. So to differentiate its product, a firm can focus directly on the attributes of its products or services. So yung mga services, ito yung mga nakalista sa baba. So, number 1 is yung product features. So, sa product features, the most obvious way that firms can try to differentiate their products is by altering the features of products they sell. And one industry in which firms are constantly modifying products feature to attempt to differentiate their product. So yun yung sa product feature. Tsaka number 2 is yung product complexity. So sa product complexity can be thought of as a special case of altering a product's features to create product differentiation. So ayun po yun sa product complexity. Tsaka yung pangatlo, yung time of product introduction, introducing a product at the right time can also help create product differentiation. So sabi nga sa chapter 2 na tinakal nung mga nakaraan, if I'm not mistaken po, in some industry settings, the critical issue is to be a first mover to introduce a new product before all other firms. Yun po. So next is location. The physical location of a firm can also be a source of product differentiation. So, panglima, yung product customization. Product can also be differentiated by the extent to which they are customized for particular customer applications. And also, product customization is an important basis for product differentiation in a wide variety of industry from sa enterprise software to bicycle po. Next is consumer marketing. So, sa consumer marketing naman, differential emphasis on consumer marketing has been a basis product differentiation in a wide variety of industry. Through advertising and other consumer marketing efforts, firms attempt to alter the perception of current and potential customer, whether specific attributes of a firm's product or services are actually altered. Sunod naman is yung product reputation. Perhaps the most important relationship between a firm and its customer depend on a firm reputation in marketplace. So indeed, a firm reputation is no more than social complex relationship between a firm and its customer. Once nag-develop yung firm reputation, it can last a long time even if the basis for that reputation is no longer exists. And next is linkage between function. So, a less obvious but still important way in which firm can attempt to differentiate its products is through linking different function within the firm. Sa link with other firms, another basis of product differentiation is linkage with other firms naman. Instead of differentiating products or services based on linkage between function within a single firm or linkage between different products, different is based on explicit linkage between one firm products and products or services of the other firm. Punta naman tayo sa product mix, yung pang-10. So, product mix, one of the outcomes of links among function within a firm and links between firms can be changes in the mix of products a firm brings to the market. And yung pang-11 naman, distribution channel. Distribution channel linkages within and between firms can also have an impact on how a firm chooses to distribute its product. And distribution channel can be a basis of product differentiation. And lastly, service and support. Finally, products have been differentiated by the level of service and support associated with them. Magbigay tayo ng example. Some personal computer firms have very low levels of service provided by independent services dealers. So, yan yung po yung isa sa example sa service and support. So, that is my topic for this evening. And Rogelio Gonzaga will discuss about the product differentiation and creativity.
Hello everyone, I am the next reporter for this chapter and I'm going to present to you the topic assigned to me, which is product differentiation and more. So let's go. Product differentiation and creativity. Product differentiation is ultimately an expression of the creativity of individuals and groups within firms. It is limited only by the opportunities that exist or that can be created in a particular industry and by the willingness and ability of firms to creatively explore ways to take advantage of those opportunities. So in this slide, the goal of product differentiation is to create a competitive advantage or to make your product superior to alternatives on the market. In other words, you don't just want to stand out from the competition, you want to stand above it. It is important to differentiate your product in any industry, but especially if you are in a crowded market with lots of competitors, the goal is to show potential customers what you can offer those other businesses can and why that's valuable to them or valuable to them. Next slide tayo. So, the value of product differentiation. The basis of product differentiation on which a firm competes must be useful in order to have the ability to generate competitive advantages. To be valuable, product differentiation basis must allow a company to neutralize threats and or capitalize on opportunities. So, differentiation value number 1 is reduces the threat of rivalry. Second one is reduce the threat of substitutes. And third one, reduce the threats of suppliers. And lastly, reduce threats of buyers. So, product differentiation can provide economic value by boosting earnings, sometimes by a large margin. Differentiated product can usually be sold for a greater price because people are willing to pay more for durability, appearance, and customer service. They will also pay more for appealing packaging or an exciting experience. So, in differentiation value, differentiation creates value when a company uses a differentiation strategy that focuses on the cost value of the product versus other similar products on the market. It creates a perceived value among consumers and potential customers. So next, the product differentiation and environmental threats. Successful product differentiation helps a firm respond to each of the environment threats identified. For example, product differentiation helps reduce the threat of new entry by forcing potential entrants to an industry to absorb not only by the standard cost of beginning business, but also additional costs associated with overcoming incumbent firms' product differentiation advantages. So, in a given business, each company seeks to establish out its own differentiated products niche. By making their products more appealing, product differentiation helps enterprises lessen the threat of replacements. As you can see in this slide, Rolls-Royce and Fiat both fulfill the same basic consumer need, yet they are not necessarily consumers for one another. Next, product differentiation and environmental opportunities. Product differentiation can also help a firm take advantage of environmental opportunities. For example, in fragmented industries, firms can use product differentiation strategies to help consolidate in a market. So in the office paper industry, Xerox has used its brand name to become the leading seller of paper for copy machines and printers, arguing that its paper is specially manufactured to avoid jamming in its own copy machines, was able to brand what had been a commodity product. Product differentiation can be an important strategic option in a declining industry. Products differentiating firms may be able to become leaders in this kind of industry. or they may discover a viable market niche that will enable them to survive despite the overall decline in the market. Okay, product differentiation and sustained competitive advantage. Product differentiation strategies add value by enabling firms to charge prices for their products or services that are greater than their average total cost. Firms that implement this strategy successfully can reduce a variety of environmental threats and exploit a variety of environmental opportunities. However, as discussed in Chapter 3, the ability of a strategy to add value to a firm must be linked with rare and costly to imitate organizational strengths in order to generate a sustained competitive advantage. Each of the bases of product differentiation listed earlier in this chapter varies with respect to how likely it is to be rare and costly to imitate. Product differentiation methods allow businesses to charge higher prices for their goods and services than their average total cost. Firms that successfully execute a product differentiation strategy can mitigate or minimize a number of environmental threats while also capitalizing on possibilities. Each of the product differentiation bases discussed previously in this chapter differs in terms of its likelihood of being rare and costly or difficult to copy. Okay, rare basis for product differentiation. The concept of product differentiation generally assumes that the number of firms that have been able to differentiate their products in a particular way is at some point in time the smaller than the number of firms needed to generate perfect competition dynamics. Indeed, the reason that highly differentiated firms can charge a price for their product that is greater than average total cost is because these firms are using a basis for product differentiation that few competing firms are also using. In this slide, the uniqueness of a product differentiation strategy is determined by a company's capacity to be innovative. Firms with high level of creativity will always be one step ahead of the competition. Rival firms will often be trying to imitate these firms' last product differentiation moves while creative firms are working on their next one. In short, it depends on the ability of individual firms to be creative in finding new ways to differentiate their products. So, the imitability of product differentiation. Valuable and rare bases of product differentiation must be costly to imitate if they are to be sources of sustained competitive advantage. So both direct duplication and substitution as approaches to imitation are important in understanding the ability of product differentiation to generate competitive advantages. Direct duplication of product differentiation can't hide differentiation and can't always duplicate at a low cost. Okay, in this slide, as you can see in the table, the one basis of product differentiation in table 5.2. This is table 5.2 sa ebook. It is identified as almost always being easy to duplicate. It is the product features. So by far the most common technique for companies to differentiate their products is through product features. Product features rarely, if ever, enable a company to acquire sustainable competitive advantages. The one basis of product differentiation that is identified as almost always being easy to duplicate is product features. Having a mall that brings several stores together in a single place is a source of competitive advantages. But it is not competitive advantage over other malls that provide the same service. When this basis of a product mix advantage is a common customer, then duplication is often less difficult. So, such cross-border links can provide sources of sustained competitive advantage according to the World Economic Forum's International Competitiveness Report 2016. Some of the low-cost duplication usually possible is the product customization, product complexity, consumer marketing, usually the usual costly to duplicate are the links between functions, timing, location, reputation, distribution channels, and service support.